You've done a podcast yourself, Broken Record podcast, and you've done conversation too. So what have you learned from that process about the art of conversation? And also maybe what advice would you give to to me about what to do with conversation? Like, what is interesting to you about conversation?
One of the things that I like is to not feel like there's any stakes, or that it's actually almost that it's not happening. Like the fact that when I came in, you were setting up cameras made it less good for me. I knew that would impact the conversation in a negative way. The best version of it would be if we didn't see the cameras, and if we didn't see any technology, and we were just sitting at this table having a conversation. Maybe even if we were mic'd beforehand, would be okay if it was necessary. But then we were just sitting here having a conversation, no people in the room, nothing, and feeling like we're just having a conversation. I feel like it would get closer to the relaxed feeling. Same thing we do in the studios. Like, you've heard of red light fever, when artists get nervous when like they'll play a song great and then the tape starts rolling and they can't play it. And we're all to some degree like that.
When you were with Paul McCartney, I mean, were you cognizant of cameras?
We had the room black. Everybody who was working there was dressed in black. Everything was invisible. We were lit in a way where, even though there were probably 20 people, between 12 and 20 people working in the room, within 3 minutes of starting the conversation, Paul and I were alone in the room.
So
that was the feeling. On occasion, you'd hear a noise and it would be weird. We also nobody was allowed to wear shoes because we were trying to create this intimate space. And I know from in the recording studio, when we're recording, if even one person is there that's just watching and not working, I'm usually there and an engineer is there technically making it happen. Mm-hmm. If anyone else is in the room, it's different, because then it goes from this moment where the person's doing a performance to the sense, or where the person is feeling something internally and we're capturing it, to the other version is they're performing for someone.
It's so interesting. So, like, to push back in the alternatives here. So one, about the third person, not to make people self-conscious, but I find that I'm so torn on that, because sometimes when that person, so Evan is in the room here. He's been in the room before. He's a huge fan of yours, by the way. So he'll he'll nod. Yeah, he'll get excited. He's like, and you can see that nodding. And for some reason, for me, it's like, yeah, you get it, like, yeah, you get excited together. I mean, that third person can be like a really special. So having an audience, when it's a friend or somebody that has that love in them.
It depends on the performer.
Right.
Yeah. Some people really thrive in front of an audience.
And you're saying you like that simple intimacy of everything
I like
dissipates.
The reality of it not being, I want it to be as far from a performance as possible.
Got it.
And if someone, I'll tell you a story that just happened, and it was viewed as kind of it seemed uncool in the moment to the person that it happened to. It wasn't at all. We were recording the new Chili Peppers album, which is coming out, I think, any day now. Like, I don't know what today's date is, but within maybe by the time this airs, it will be out. And the band was playing in the studio, and it was ripping because they're incredible. And one of the members walked through the control room after a particularly great performance, and the engineer said, "Wow, that solo was really great." And the person who heard this said, "Please don't say that," and walked away. It's like it was not. It just changed.
Yeah.
This feeling of we're in this place where we're doing this thing, and there is no outside world.
Yeah.
We're doing this for us. We're going as deep as we can for us. And as soon as there's an acknowledgement to someone else, in a way, it breaks the concentration of being inside of it.